Directly proportions. A is directly proportional to square of B. When A equals to 50, B is equal to 5. Find a formula for A in terms of B. Now, A is directly proportional to square of B. How do you write this statement? This is A and this is the symbol that you use to show that it is directly proportional. To what? To the square of B. Nextly, for you to remove this directly proportional sign, you are going to remove this directly proportional sign using a equal sign and a K. So instead of this directly proportional sign, you are going to write equals K. That is, you write A as it is. Now we are going to replace this directly proportional sign with equal K B squared. Now what you have to do, you are going to substitute the values of A and B and then you can work out for the value of K. So let's substitute the value of A, which is 50, B, that is 5, so you have to square it, and you can find the value K as 2. So K is equal to 2, which 50 divided by 25. Now you can write the equation as A equals, so instead of K, you can write down 2 B squared. So find a formula for A in terms of B is A equals to 2B squared. Nextly, find the value of A when B is equal to 3. So that since you know the formula now as A equals to 2B squared, you have to substitute the value of B to work out the value for A. So A is equal to 18 when B is equal to 3. Cos 3 squared, it is 9 times 2, it's 18. So you're using the same formula, A equals 2B squared, and they ask from you find the value of B when A is equal to 200. So you're going to work out A equals 200 equals to 2B squared. Let's divide both sides by 2 and B squared is equal to 100, whereas B is equal to plus or minus 10. Next question is, y is directly proportional to the square of x when y equals to 6.4, x equals to 4. So first let's write this statement. Y is, that is y is directly proportional, that this is the sign, to square of x. So here x squared. Now how are you going to remove this directly proportional sign? You are going to use an equal sign with a k. So let's write it as y equals k times x squared. Now let's substitute the values for y, that is 6.4 equals k times x squared, here is 4 squared, which is 16. So k is equal to 6.4 divided by 16, which is equal to 0.4. Now we can write the equation as y equals 0.4 x squared. So we have y equals to 0.4 times x squared. Part B of the question is, find the value of y when x equals to 8. So I substitute 8 for x. which 8 squared, it's 64 times 0.4, it is 25.6. Next part of the question is y equals 0.4x squared. When y is equal to 78.4, what is the value of x? So 78.4 equals 0.4x squared. Let's divide both sides by 0.4. When you divide 78.4 by 0.4, that is 196. So the square root of 196 is plus or minus 40. Z is directly proportional to square root of x. So let's write it first. Z is directly proportional to square root of x. Let's remove the directly proportional sign with an equal and a k. So you can say that z is equal to k times square root of x. And let's substitute the values of z, which is 12, and x, which is 36. And let's take the square root of 36, which is 6. So 12 equals to k times 6. Let's divide both sides by 6 and k is equal to 2. Where your equation is z equals 2 times square root of x. Let's substitute the values now. They say when x is equal to 121, so the square root of 121, it is 11. 11 times 2, it is 22. So z is equal to 22. Work out the value of x when z is equal to 18. Let's substitute 18 for z. Divide both sides by 2. Square root of x equals 9. How do you remove the square root? You have to square both the sides. When you square square root, it cancels off, whereas 9 squared is 81. D is directly proportional to the square of t. So let's write it as D is directly proportional to square of t. I'm going to remove the proportional sign with equal and k. So we are going to write it as D equals k t squared. And let me substitute D as 80 and t as 4. So your k is equal to 5. Such D equals 5t squared. Part B, work out the value of D when t equals 7. So you're going to substitute 7 into the equation. D equals 5t squared. So it's 5 times t squared is 49. So we have 49 times 5, which is 245. D is proportional to square of s. So you can work out this question. They have not specified the word directly proportional. If they have not specified, you always take it as directly proportional, because in a case of inversely proportional, they always mention it as inversely proportional. If they have not mentioned, you always consider it as a directly proportional. So D is proportional to square of s. You can try this question of your own. The next question is, the weight of a piece of wire is directly proportional to its length. A piece of wire is 25 centimeters long and has a weight of 6 grams. Another piece of the same wire is 30 centimeters. Calculate the weight of 30 centimeter piece of wire. So firstly, weight is directly proportional to length. So weight, I will call it as W, is directly proportional to L. So for me to remove the proportional sign, I'm going to use an equal and a K. So I'm going to write it as W is equal to K times L. And they say that the weight of the wire is 6 grams when its length is 25 centimeters. So I can work out for K, which is 0.24. I will write the formula as W equals 0.24 L. Then I'm going to substitute the length of the other piece of wire, which is 30 centimeters, to work out the weight of it. So 0.24 multiplied by 30, the wire which is 30 centimeters is 7.2 grams of weight. The next question is, a ball falls vertically after being dropped. The ball falls a distance d meters in a time of t seconds. D is directly proportional to square of t. The ball falls 20 meters in a time of 2 seconds. Find a formula for d in terms of t. So, and the part B is calculate the distance the ball falls in 3 seconds. And part C is calculate the time the ball takes to fall 605 meters. So let's work out the question. D is proportion to square of t. You are going to remove the proportion with the equal k. So D is equal to k times t squared. It says that the ball falls 20 meters in 2 seconds. So we can use that information to find the value of k. And we can write a formula D equals 5t squared. Nextly, using the formula, you are going to find the distance it falls in 3 seconds. 3 squared, it's 9 times 5, it is 45 meters. Calculate the time the ball takes to fall 605 meters. So the distance is 605 equals to 5t squared. We're going to divide both sides by 5. So when you divide 605 by 5, it's 121 seconds. You have to take the square root of 121, which t is equal to 11 seconds. Next question is, the time t seconds it takes a water heater to boil some water is directly proportional to the mass of water m kilograms in the water heater. When m equals 250, t equals to 600. So time is directly proportional to the mass of water. T is directly proportional to m. I will remove the directly proportion with equal k. So I have t equals to k times m. And I substitute the values as 600 equals k 250. And k is equal to 2.4. So I will write the equation as t equals 2.4 times m. Find the value of t when m equals to 400. So let's substitute the values for m as 400 and the time taken is then 960 seconds. I'm going to continue this lesson to the next presentation, which I will discuss inversely proportional. So we are going to talk about the inversely proportional questions in the next presentation.